Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 18 of the Straight Line Motorsports League Mazda MX5 Cup Championship here live at Sardenga. I'm your host and commentator for today's race, SDM_RDZ, and today I am once again joined by SDM Viper, who joined midway through the start of last race, but now he's going to be able to join me for at least one full race here of the weekend. And of course, Viper, we had an exciting race, of course, and it got very heated up at the finale of that race. So that race was very excruciatingly awesome. Give us your thoughts and opinions on that race, of course.
The first race on my my lobby intro message. I apologize heavily and at heart for said. So I just want to apologize, and I did change the message. Don't worry. The next time I enter a race midway through stream, it will not say what that message is sent. So yeah. Hopefully, hope mistakes were made. We can move on from those mistakes. But back to the race. It was just one of the most unbelievable Mazda races I've ever seen in my entire career here. I don't think we saw just a better. We saw a better race than what was at the final lap of Interlagos in the second race. we saw at least everyone in this pack had a shot to win this race, and James Head came out on top, won the race by around a half a car to Elliott in the 64 Mazda, and Doug Barrow just getting another rack of points, and he scored P3 as well. So, but also we want to, if you didn't hear the last stream, we just learned, and it's been confirmed, that unfortunately Kobe Bryant has been killed in a helicopter crash in Southern California. Apparently what happened was that a fire started to erupt in the chopper, and the foggy conditions did not help, and unfortunately helicopter crashed and sparked a brush fire, and the rescue workers did not reach them on time, and he was one of 5 who died in this crash here. But putting those thoughts behind us, Viper, will move on straight back into the race. We have Bar 27 on the front row, and as well as SLM Palmer. Palmer, who unfortunately finished 7th after doing so well late in the race as well, but it did not hold out for him very well. So he's got a bit of work to do in the championship to try and make it. Palmer now, he's got to do some work here. When did the green lights drop right here? And they will drop right now as the field gets rolling here for this second race here at Sardenga. Palmer now tucking behind Bar right now, with Hair Raiser now taking a one right there, and Durkee now having a peek right there.
Yeah, Bar is going to try and get on the brakes later than Palmer, but Palmer's going to run to the inside, so immediately I think Palmer's going to try and get back into this race. Bar is going to hold on instead, go into the gravel trap.
He didn't lose too much time, though. He's still up into P3 right there. He's going to have to relinquish that position to Hair Raiser now. He's going to try and tuck in for second place there, and does. So Palmer now is just going to have to try to take the lead right here, as we've already seen that he's opening a half-second gap here.
Durden is really trying to push as well, as he's really looking for those points as well in the championship, but more importantly, it is going to be SLM Palmer. Elliott and James Head not being able to get back up the grid. Doug Barrow moving one position up, so the guys finished on the podium last time buyout have not made a lot of moves for the start of this race. Oh, was that contact right there between Palmer and Hair Raiser? I thought it was.
I didn't see it. Our cameras may have caught it though.
Yeah, I saw it for like a split second.
This is going to be the start of a war right here between these 8 drivers right here.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Palmer now going to try and withstand another charge from Hair Raiser and Bar 27. Bar 27 is going to try and tug around behind. And that was a bit of contact between himself and Durdu. Durdu getting slightly onto the gravel. Durdu not liking that one, so a flash of the lights, I could tell. on Barr, and Doug Barrow moving up into P4. James Head is in 6th, and Elliott, unfortunately, not able to move up the grid, is still in 8th place, dead last. So very, very heated this race, and not a lot of grid changes. James Head really trying to push there, of course.
Absolutely. Barr was just up there not too long ago, as he's having some more lag issues right here as we speak right here. So stewards are going to probably have to give him another warning here for possible lag, if anything, but it shouldn't be that much of a factor here going in this race right here. Doug Barrow a little wide right there. Going to have to relinquish that position to... No, he's still there. Going to try and switch over here. Dirty's going to try and follow. Barr's going to block right there, a slight block. Dirty look to the outside right now, Doug Barrow right now for 4.
Yeah, Dirtdude's really trying to do anything that he can in his power to try and at least move up the grid. Of course, you don't really see him up the order that much, up in the top 3 spots. Normally you see him mid-pack down to back of the grid. So him just trying to really get back up into, you know, pretty much in the top spots. He has the pace to do it, but he's just not been, like, I'd say like another half a tenth quicker, even a tenth of a second quicker, just to be up the grid. And that's, I think, really hampered his performance here within this MX5 Cup Championship, but you don't see it that much within the Pro-Am Championship, of course.
Doug Barrow had a run, but took damage. The rear bar 27 didn't do too much damage right there. As they're going to have a look to the inside. Doug Barrow having a look to the inside right here. Barr's not late to the inside right there. Oh, Barr's gone wide!
Oh, very wide. Bar has gone off.
He's lost the rear end, and he's just forced it off the track and in the wall slightly. And he's going to drop a couple positions right now. Bar back down into 6th place already now. That's not going to help him at all. Doug Barrow benefiting heavily from that move right there.
Yeah, that was a podium position for Bar 27, and unfortunately he's dropped back all the way down to P6. So he was doing pretty well for the start of this race, and unfortunately I think, I'm not sure what happened, he might have just taken a bit too much going to the corners. Elliott goes a bit too wheeling onto the gravel trap. And so back up to the front of the field now, SLM Palmer, Hair Razor going it out once again, but Doug Barrow and Dirtdude not that far behind, as well as James Head, race 1 winner here of the weekend, has gonna try and follow this battle in a way. Doug Barrow going a bit wide on the grass. We'll go on board now with the number 69 in the hands of Hair Razor, and let's see if he can do something. Oh, there's a bit of contact right there, I think. Hair Razor gonna try and force him up the inside. Oh, a bit too late, a bit early on the brakes, actually, and that's going to allow his teammate to actually get up alongside him and potentially up into the top spots. Dirtdude, however, might be looking for a podium position right here, and he does. So Dirtdude finally up in
James
one of the...
James Head's going to follow Dirtdude up, and Hair Razor's going to lose 3 spots right here in a matter of a straight right here.
So Hair Razor, I don't think, anticipated to break... So I don't think Hair Razor really was expecting to lose that amount of ground. Hair Razor's going to try and force one up the inside of James Head, and he does. Of course.
Yeah, I did see when Hair Razor was braking for the final corner, he did downshift apparently in the 3rd gear and must have overrevved the car, and then he downshift again to 2nd, which really overrevved the car. So I think that's why he's lost a little positions, and now he's just gone on the ground right here. And so is Elliott right here, down the field.
Yeah, a lot of guys just going very, very wide, and so I don't think they're losing a lot of time. I think they're just trying to get that for track position and pace. It's very unorthodox, but I think it should be looked at, because it would, if the penalty system is on, that would be a lot of penalties coming in, but I'm a bit surprised the game is just like, nah, it's completely clean and whatnot.
Doug Barrow's on the back bumper of Palmer right now. He's going to really try and benefit from this, because he's already come up with his 3rd place finish right here. If he somehow finishes in the top 3, he's going to have a lot of points to go home with after these 2 races here today.
Yeah, so Palmer now just trying to get back and benefit from that 7th place position. Of course, he is trying to limit the damage dealt on his championship lead over James Head. And I think he was more concerned with Elliott as well, because I think that's going to put Elliott as well, who was only able to finish up in 2nd place, but just half a car length behind race 1 winner James Head. That's put them both pretty much right back in the championship hunt, and Palmer is going to do a lot of work once again to try and stay within this championship lead, of course.
Palmer has not driven off that easily, as Doug Barrow now still on the back bumper here, going down the hill and now up the hill here for the final corner here in this braking zone right here. Let's see what Doug Barrow does. He's going to try and shoot for the outside right here. Gets the car a little bit on the gravel, on the grass, but still keeps it straight right now.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Just I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you because I feel like you're gonna finish talking. I think he's just trying to wait for a mistake between the top 2, and I think it's just holding him up. So I think he likes a bit of clean space between himself and the guy in 2nd and 1st place. So Durdude, once again, gonna get right back up with these guys.
He really threw it in the corner right there.
Yeah, he really did. So he's gonna be right back up with this lead battle for the time being. James Head's going to slot into P4, so he's gotten past the rest of the grid. Oh, Doug Barrow goes sideways.
Big slide for Doug Barrow right there. He's going to open up the door for Durdude now, as he's going to have a shot.
Oh, that actually might have held up Durdude more than anything. So Palmer getting a bit of breathing room for the time being, as Doug Barrow had a massive sideways moment and was able to correctly save it, but instead it held up himself and Durdude as a result of that. And so now 0.6 of a second separate Palmer and Doug Barrow for the time being.
Absolutely. We're seeing right now that the pack is starting to spread out evenly right there. But this battle right here for 2nd right there, it's not going anywhere anytime soon here. Durdude is really trying to make something happen right here. He's really trying to get by the number 13 of Doug Barrow here in that Costa MX5 right there.
Yeah, Doug Barrow, of course, one of the main stalwarts within this Straight Line Motorsports League, as well as Hair Raiser. And of course, they're not like the quickest, but they do know how to win races. Of course, unfortunately, they've not had the luck to actually been able to win any of these races, as Doug Barrow once again goes wide. He knows how to win races, but unfortunately he's just not had the patience and audacity to actually be able to be in the 1st place at the right time. So we've seen him in 1st, but like I said, he just seems to sometimes just throw it away, and then that's how oftentimes race wins and valuable points just get thrown away from him, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, as you speak about Doug Barrow right now, he's really closed that gap back down again, so he is trying to make that ground back on Palmer right now, who's currently sitting 1st in this race right here, obviously finishing 7th after what it looked to be some contact right there between the lead between Elliott and Palmer right there, but the stewards, they are going to have a look at that incident right there. As we see right now, Palmer is trying to make the most that he can in this 2nd race right here.
Yeah, and so nothing really changing much as of now, except for the fact that James Head pretty much just caught himself back up into this fight for the lead. So his first objective is to try and get past Durdude, as these two for the lead are going to go literally up against the left-hand white line. Oh, is that Palmer? Very, very sideways.
He's on the gravel. He's in the grass.
And Durdude's going to take the lead of this race.
James Head's in this. James Head's popped the 2nd place. This is unbelievable.
And Durdude, the Pro-Am GT3 Championship leader, taking the lead of this race.
James Head's trying to get a position going. He's trying to get back into 1st place right here. What an incredible benefit right here for Durdude and James Head here. Looked like a little bit of contact right there between Doug Barrow and Palmer right there. Sent those two a little bit wide. I did see Palmer get in the grass a little bit. I don't know what happened to Doug Barrow right here. He must have got really loose, so it slowed him down, which opened the door for Durdude and James Head to get this lead right here, as we see Durdude and James Head going too wide up into turn 1 right here.
Yeah, James Head, of course, going to go on the inside and make this pass pretty easy on Durdude. And I think Doug Barrow's going to try and force one up the inside as well, but he wasn't close enough. So, Durdude I think if he wins this, he would be very, very ecstatic about it because getting his second. He would really love to get a second win of the season, of course.
And obviously starting in a very good qualifying spot right here. A little bit of Moz is going a little bit wide right there.
And I'll tell you,
out is just really heating up right there. Sorry.
Oh, Doug Barrow really on the back bumper of the not the Aston Martin, the Mazda of Dirty. I said Aston Martin because that's what Dirty drives in the GT3 Championship. Oh, is Dirty gonna try to force with the inside? He's got it done. He's right up alongside him.
No, he's not.
Oh, and the momentum swing by Jameson was able to keep that number 7 in the lead of this race. And I'll tell you what, Viper, if Jameson is able to get 2 for 2 on the race weekend wins here for the race weekend, that I think would propel him right into the championship lead, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no doubt. This young British driver right here came off with a stellar first race result right here, beating Elliott by just a half a car on the final lap. It was a drag race to the finish line right here, but James had really got it done right here. He really benefited in that first battle right there, and it really propelled him in the first place right here. But now this battle, it's really benefiting him as well, as he sits currently in first place right here in the second race right here.
Yeah, James had doing everything right in the textbook. Of course, he started in 8th place, and now he's gotten himself back up into the lead, and he's looking to take in another series haul of championship points here to get closer, if not take away and snatch the championship lead from SLM Palmer. But Durdude is going to try and force one on the inside. It looks like he's got the traction down, but I think James says going to have to drive out of the corner. It's going to be too wide, I think, and I think Durdude...
Doug Barrett's going to follow James' head. He's up in the second place already.
Yeah, Durdude tried something in the corner to try and overtake for the race lead, and instead it's actually going to disadvantage him in a little bit, and he's going to lose one position, and as a matter of fact, he might lose a second one to the hands of SLM Palmer. Right there, yeah.
Down the inside right there. Durdude just completely just trying to strategy of his own, but it did not work in the way in the favor that he was trying to make it work for his favor. Instead, it benefited the other two guys, that are Doug Barrett and SLM Palmer right there. And now Doug Barrett now, he's just trying to get back up into third place right there. With just an unbelievable run that he had on that one battle right there. And he's just driving the ever-living daylights out of that car right there. He's not lifting at all.
Yeah, while we take a minute away from this battle, you can keep me up to date what happens here. I'm going to take a moment back at the rest of the field. Hairraiser and Barr going for a bit of a battle for 5th and 6th, but these guys are 6 seconds down on the race lead at the moment. TGIS and Elliott Fagger, well, as a matter of fact, are still literally going at it, and these two have had a very, very heated rivalry in this league, of course, and they're battling it out 10 seconds down. Oh, what is going on? Oh my god, I thought there was going to be a collision on the pit wall. And I thought TGIS was almost going to dale the pit entrance. And I'm glad he didn't, because these guys are still going at it. And Elliott Fagger, unfortunately, just...
Whoa! James had just went sliding into the gravel trap right here. Doug Barrow, he's going to look like he's going to have the front. And Doug Barrow's just taking position, and Palmer's just following him into second place. And Durdude's going to follow them both.
So I'm not sure what happened here I'm not sure what happened, but
James had just
that's my doorbell. I'll be right back. Viper, you can keep ourselves up to date on the commentary. I'm gonna have to take the moment to step away from the microphone for a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, right now looking at this front 4 battle right here for first place right here. Doug Barrow right now on the outside right there. Palmer now trying to look on the inside right here. But Doug Barrow, he's going to keep the momentum right here. And Durdude, he may follow him up into second place right now. Doug Barrow throwing the block to Durdude right now, and he's going to try and make Palmer follow him right there. Up the hill into the first corner right here. And James Head now just watching back to see if he can do anything right here. And we still have about 14 minutes of this race left to go right here. What a incredible race that we're seeing right here. So, right now, Durdude now just trying to make something happen right here. He's on the back bumper of Palmer right here. James Head looking behind. Doug Barrett now trying to get a comfortable lead here going. Palmer now a little bit under pressure right now. Doug Barrett a little bit in the gravel trap. Third dude a little bit in the gravel trap right here. He's looking to open the door for James Head now to get a run up down the hill. Losing time now. It looks like Palmer now, he's going to try and get the back up to the bumper of Doug Barrett right now. And then number 13, Mazda, the Costa Mazda, up in the braking zone. Palmer trying to go, and we just had retirement already in this race. Bar 27, unfortunately, has retired from this second race right here. So, unfortunately for him, he will finish 8th place in this race right here. Palmer now has a run on Doug Barrett right now. Past finish line right here. And he's going to run up the hill right here. That's really going to give him a momentum push right here. Really just bump drafting him at this rate right here. He's going to try and bump him so he can shoot him off into the corner here. Palmer looks to the inside right here. Going to try and squeeze him in. Nope. Doug Barrett just squeezes the door shut right here. And that's going to open up the door for Dirt Dude now. As he's going to get a momentum run on the back bumper of Palmer right here. As he's going to try and overtake second place right here. He's just following him in the corner right here.
So I am back, of course.
So now,
someone has left the lobby, and I think I imagine it is the Mazda.
And Dirt Dude's just gone up into the wall, into the grass, and he's just hit the wall. And he's really dropped back from this car pack battle right here. He's really dropped back right now.
I can see a car of Bar 27 has left the race, I imagine. So I'm not sure what.
Yes, that would be correct.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what happened there. He was fighting up in, I think, for 5th and 6th, so he might have had a good solid chunk of points coming his way. So I'm not sure why he really left.
I didn't see why either, but obviously I believe the stewards will have a look at that replay for that incident if there is any to be looked at. But this 3-car battle, it's still going on here. We've got about 11.5 minutes left to go in this race.
Yeah, and so Doug Barrow doing the good job. As a matter of fact, the top 2 get their right side wheels on the gravel trap, and James Head's going to get a little bit ways away closer, of course.
We're all getting closer to Doug Barrow now. He's just really taming this pressure very, very well right here. I think he realized that the last race he was being over a little bit aggressive right here. So now he's sitting in first place right now. He's had to do the hard work to get back up into first place right here. So now it's just a matter of trying to deal with that pressure right now instead of him making the pressure on the other people. And I think he's dealing with this pressure very, very well right here.
Yeah, Doug Barrow, I think, is one of the few guys here within this league who's not been able to capitalize on a championship win here, on a race win here. So let's take a look at the standings here real quickly. And as far as I'm aware, I think Doug Barrow, has not been able to get a race win here as of late. So if he's able to get that and get a race win, that would be good for him, of course, because he would most certainly like that.
Absolutely.
Oh, as a matter of fact, he's got very, very sideways. And so he's having to defend from James Head a little bit. Oh, there's contact. And Doug Barrow's going to lose out and might even lose out another position to the hands of SLM Polymer, which he has. And Doug's going to get forced a bit wide. A bit of
really wide.
Yeah, a bit of pressure right now coming from the number 13. And I think Dirt Dude is going to be on a hot charge to try and get a podium finishing spot, if he can, within these last 10 minutes of this race.
James Head once again benefiting from all these incidences right here, as he's now sitting comfortably in first place right now. And he's just slowly extending that gap right here.
Oh, and Dirt Dude is going to just get back at the number 13. And so he will get that third place back, but for how long is the question, because the overdrive in third gear, and TGIS, interestingly enough, is going to go into the pits. I'm not sure if
he's got engine damage.
Does he actually? Yes, he does. Wow, look at that. So he's going to lose a heck of an amount of time. I'm not sure why he's taking tires.
Hairraiser now just driving by him as well. Well, I think Hairraiser must have had an issue somewhere. Elliott now still in second place right here. We still have these two battling a 2x2 tandem packs right here, side positions here for this second race here at Sardenga. Third now on the back bumper right here. Palmer on the back bumper of James Head. What can these drivers do? Defend or make up positions here? In this stage of the race, we've got about 3, 2, 1, 8 minutes to go left in this race right here. And it's gonna just start being heated up here in this fight.
And so and it looks like Doug Barrow and Dirty are fighting it out for the last spot on the podium, and Palmer and James Head, of course. Palmer now just trying to do anything he can to minimize the damage on James Head's championship charge at the moment.
Doug Barrows just went a little wide in the gravel trap coming out of turn 1 right here. Palmer now all to the back bumper. James Head gets a little tail swing right there. Going to open the door for Palmer now to overtake for the lead right here.
Oh, it's going to be close!
Very tight right here, but James Head's still going to hold on to that lead right there. Very tight there between those S's right there going down the hill and now up the hill into the braking.
There may be a bit of a a dispute going on at the moment in the Discord, and I imagine someone was probably forced into the pit lane barrier. So we will wait for a response on that as a reason to the engine damage.
Yeah, I need to go look at those messages myself, but as for right now, I'm going to keep paying attention to this fight right here for the overall win right here, as Palmer's still not giving up on this fight, and James Head not giving an inch to Palmer right here in this fight right here, as these two are going to go once again down the hill into the S's right here. James Head not giving an inch, Palmer not giving up at all. And they're too wide now, up the hill and into the brake zone for the final.
Oh, Palmer still got the grip at the moment going into the final corner. The very, very slow hairpin. James might have somehow been able to keep that on the outside and actually get a better drive than Palmer did. So that was a great defense move on the outside for James Head on Palmer.
Absolutely, we've got about less than 5.5 minutes to go, and it's still heating up here in this fight right here with James Head now hopefully trying to take a second win of this in a row actually, and Palmer now trying to rack up a win in points here after a dismal 7th place loss, which was none of his doing absolutely, and we still have plenty of racing to go here in the final 5 minutes of this race. James Head a little wide there.
And so, yeah, James Head just at the moment just doing everything right, not allowing the Mazda of Palmer to try and get back up. Of course, that's going to apply a bit of pressure for the number 24 to do anything in his power to actually try and get back up past him at the moment. Oh, a bit of a sideways tanker, a sideways slapper at the moment for that 24. And that's going to open the gap up between the two at the moment. So it's going to be 0.7 of a second, close to 0.8 of a second, I should say, for these top guys at the moment. Of course, the draft going to reel them both back in. And what's the gap going to be going in? Just under 0.7 of a second going into the brakes for turn number 1. James Head is going to lose about a bit more. Palmer going to really, really get that gap down and just shave about half that gap. Oh, Doug Barrow's going wide.
Yeah, I think he's lost the tail end a little bit coming out of turn 1 right here, and that's giving Dirty third place right there. Now, these two in the front running positions there, they're not giving an inch to each other in terms of space and position-wise.
Yeah, TGIS and Hair Razor, of course, they're at the back of the grid, but they're trying to have the battles, of course, while they can. And so I'll go back to this front battle for the time being, so if you want, you can keep me up to date on that battle, of course.
I'm going to stay up front here with these two cats that are trying to battle for an overall win right here. James Head doing the hard, James Head defending, Palmer trying to do the hard work, try to overtake. I think James Head just ran a little too much. And that's going to open up Palmer here, trying to see if we can overtake him into turn one right here. Closing that gap ever so slightly right here.
Yes, so
Palmer's got a really good run. He's going to look to the inside. Going to run out of real estate right here. They're side by side. Will Palmer get the pass done? And he's going to get the pass done on James Head right here. A little bit of bump right there from James Head right there on the back of Palmer right there. But what a dive for SLM Palmer right here to take the lead once again in this race with about 2 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock right here.
And so Palmer, with just about 2.5 minutes ago, is going to try and do everything in his might to stop the championship charge of James Head, even that's meaning to finish just ahead of James Head. Of course, that would give more points to the way of Palmer rather than James Head, but as a matter of fact, James Head has 1 championship point as well, guaranteed, and that is in the form of the fastest lap of the race. So Palmer, unless he can break James Head's fastest lap, which is at the moment on a 1:11.8, that would be a guaranteed point going to Palmer as well. So what can James Head do to try and get back up into the lead of this race? Gonna come down.
This battle between Doug Barrow and Dirt Dude has not settled down one bit. They're bumper to bumper going into turn one right here with two to go right here in this race.
Yeah, they are literally bumper to bumper as well. This is going to be the final spot on the podium. So, as we have said, points do matter within this championship, and to be in the championship, you have to remain competitive, and to remain competitive, you got to be close and you have to be on pace, because these cars are literally doing everything in their power to be as close competitive as they can. Palmer with a massive tank slapper once again to allow James Head to try and get a run on the outside. Oh, this is so close.
They're contact.
Oh, they hit at least 2 to 3 times going downhill in these sweeping S's. Going back up the hill once again to the chicane for the for this final tight left-hander. James Head's going to try and force it on the outside. And I think James Head's at the run. Yes, he has.
He does. He's going to clear him.
So James Head very, very good in that final corner. So Palmer, he's got to try another overtake with 1 lap to go. So these guys get the white flag this time by. And so what can Palmer do to try and get back up past the number 7?
He's going to try everything in the books he can to get back up to James Head right here. These two are very strong in the championship standings, very strong on the track, and they've got very strong cars to prove it here today. And Palmer now is just looking to the outside right now.
Oh, yeah, Palmer's not giving him any bit of room to work with. And now he's going to, so James Head's going to just go back closer to the racing line. Oh, very dicey stuff right here. What can Palmer do? He's going to force one up the inside. Yes, he is.
He's going to try and force it.
But James Head's so good out of this final corner. Who's going to get the better launch is going to be the question. So Palmer will have inside line ability. Palmer later on the brakes, so that's going to benefit him.
A little bit of rubbing.
It's going to be a drag race. It's going to be a drag race going to the final start of this race. Oh, and James Head. Oh, there's more contact.
More contact at the line. Oh,
and Palmer, just by the skin of his teeth, will win this race over James Head. Doug Barrow will hold on for another podium position. And Durdu just once again finishing in 4th place as well. Elliot Fageter, who finished 2nd last time out, will come home and get a top 5 finish. And this battle between TGIS and Hair Razor. And at the moment, TGIS is looking to get a 6th place finish.
I think he's going to hold on right here. No pressure at all from Hair Razor right here.
Yep, no pressure at all for TGIS. He will hold on to that position as well. So TGIS.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, James, TGIS has just stopped on track on the front.
Unless he was giving Matt the position, I assume, which could be the case.
He just gave Harris the sixth position on the racetrack, and TGIS just finishes for 7th. So that must have been part of something that we did not see, but obviously SLM Palmer here taking home quite the drive, quite the finish here, quite the victory, quite the redemption here for that young Brit right there.
So I'm a little intrigued to see what did happen between, I imagine, TGIS and Elliott. But for the time being, we will invite our podium finishers once again. Hopefully, Doug Barrow is able to join this time. So we have James Head once again making his second podium appearance here. And we have Palmer making his first. Yeah, like I said, Palmer just really tried anything in the textbook that he could to get that championship lead back swinging his way. Of course, points, he will get more points, but it's not by much. But any form of points over the other person will make a difference.
And yeah, obviously, what a great day here for James Head right here in the number 7 Mazda first place and a second place finish right here. And what a day for that young Brit right there.
We also have one of our podium finishers as well in the hands of Doug Barrow. So, Doug, good for you to join in the commentary box finally, once again, for your repeat podium as well today. So, 2 solid P3 finishes for you today, Doug Barrow. Good chunk of points for you as well. Of course, you did see yourself up in first for a little bit, but points do matter, and so solid P3 finishes once again for you. How do you feel about your podium finishes here today?
I feel good about them, to be honest. Sorry I missed the first one. My house was a bit of a noisy wreck, so I thought I'd better not join the first one. I think I might have done better had James not mentioned just before I went off that could potentially be my first win in SLM, so thanks for that, James. There was, because there was a few of us in the chat, there was some chat about some suspect driving going on down the back, but I didn't see any of it, so I don't know. But yeah, no, it's good. Good day all in all.
Yeah, so, of course, we will obviously investigate that, but I imagine, Viper, you have a question for Doug Barrow as well?
Unfortunately, I do not have a question for Doug Barrow.
All right, so of course, I don't have another question for you, Doug Barrow, but of course, again, another solid P3 finish for you as well. Pretty consistent day and pretty consistent and conservative day for you as well, but hopefully we do see you with a race win by the end of the season. So we'll move back on to...
I'll just say quickly to James and Palmer, well done. Good race.
Thanks, mate.
And we'll move on to our man in second place once again, James Head, with another strong result for you. You're taking your race 1 win, and unfortunately, it looked super, super close into the end, but I think right at the end right there, I think it just slipped from you. Of course, points do matter, and of course, you took a sizable amount of points. So I think you took more points on this weekend than SLM Palmer, so of course, you finishing second place again. How do you feel about your second place finish?
Really happy with my second place. I definitely thought that the first race was better in terms of the quality of action out on track. Palmer kept me on my toes completely throughout that race, and credit to him, because honestly, I thought he was going to cry when he came across the line. It is so pleasing, I think, for what happened with the suspect driving in race 1 and yet more suspect driving in race 2. He deserves it. He really does deserve it, and I'm not going to take any credit away from him there at all. In terms of my performance, if I got a better run out the final corner, I might have nabbed him, but I can't be complaining. First and second tonight. There we go. I'm happy.
So, of course, James Head taking a solid P2 finish. Viper, you got any questions for James Head, of course?
Yeah, I have just one question for you. We did see in the that originally was a 4-car battle for the lead right there, and we did see the top 2 kind of going wide or loose on that one backstretch before you go down the hill. What took place in that scenario in order for you to inherit that lead right there? Because it looked like you got a stellar run in that moment in the race right there. Tell us what was going through your mind in that moment of that race.
Yeah, I believe Palmer will probably allude on to this as well, but from my perspective, it looked like he got caught on the grass on the inside, which flung him onto the curb. Had a bit of a half spin. I don't know how he didn't hit the wall. Doug had to take avoidant action there as well. It's not anybody's fault at all, just pure racing incident at the end of the day. It did cost them at the end of the day, but yeah, that's about it.
Obviously, you're happy with your 2 results of first place, followed up with a second place finish right here, a big chunk of points here, and I think you've got the most points this weekend out of any other driver here, and that's going to really help you propel yourself into the championship hunt right here. So, good weekend for you.
I didn't even know that.
And then, so we'll finally move on to our race 2 winner here, SLM Palmer. I thought you were going to be at the end of that race crying, of course, in tears of joy, because I don't think you were really trying to get past the number 7 of James Head, and I feel like you have become the Lando Norris of SLM. So, Palmer, take us through that race right there. How do you feel about that race 2 win right there?
Well, it's definitely an emotional one. Yeah, I was completely shaken.
He sounds like he is.
Yeah, I was.
Compose himself. I'm sorry, man. Keep going.
Yeah, coming over the line, I was just completely shaking. I think I'm just really happy that I got the win. It was just very annoying that it came to lag with the incident on the first race. So close to possibly getting a double header of wins. But it was a very emotional race. Yes, well done to was James and Doug. I think Doug's gone actually. Yeah, it was a very, very good race. I think I definitely did make it harder for myself than it needed to be with getting caught on the curb and losing it. But all in all, it was a good second race.
So he was crying. It took him a little bit to sober up, but he's good. Viper, do you have any other questions for Palmer before we cut the stream?
Yeah, I just have one question here. So I'll go back to a scenario. In the final corner here, you did make that last lap pass in the final corner here, and I've actually been on the receiving end of that one race in a sim race of mine that I did. I was on the receiving end of one of that. I was leading the race from the second corner of the first lap to the final lap of the final corner here, so I know how that's like. I know. Yeah. So, but tell us about that moment right there. What was going through your head? What instincts did you have right here? As we'll go back to the start of the final lap right here. You were being passed basically by James Head on the start of the final lap right here. What was going through your mind in order to get that position back right here in order for you to win this race?
Well, just go for it basically. There was quite a big, well, not quite a big, there was like a 4-second gap to Doug and Durdude. So I knew, if anything happens, then I'll end up possibly second, or even still on the podium. So any result on the podium is of course better than what happened in the last race. Every single time when I went for a dive to the hairpin, because James would always get a better exit. Which I was called BS on. I did kind of shove him out of the way, but to be honest, it was just like a last dive, and luckily it paid off.
Yeah, obviously good result, good win here in race 2 right here, as my dog is trying to give me all of her attention right now instead of yours.
It's okay, there's no escaping the attention span of Lando Norris, it's fine.
I know. So, I'll just answer a question here that took place in a scenario in the previous race right here. So, obviously, you and Elliot were battling for a win in the first race of this, of the Mazda MX5 Cup race, and we saw that you were, you got sent in the wall with a couple laps ago in this race here, and explain what was going through your mind in that situation right there.
pure rage, to be honest.
There's Landon Norris we miss.
I mean, yeah. I knew straight away it was lag because of the way, like, how violent the impact was. You know, I was looking on the radar, like, most of the time going through the corner, and then as soon as I took my eye off the radar, that's when the incident happened. So it took me by surprise, and I just felt so deflated. But you know, of course, you know, it wasn't Elliot's fault apart from his connection. But yeah, you know, it happens. You know, especially Gran Turismo. You know, so, you know, I'm not going to hold a grudge against it or anything. It was just very unfortunate for, I guess, the championship results.
Yeah, so...
okay, so last one. So Landon Norris turned into Sebastian Vettel. Okay.
Yes.
For God's sake.
Oh, God. Oh, boy. Are we going to end this stream?
Yes. Yeah, let me cut it out real quickly. I'm sorry. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed these two set of races. Of course, with the other tragic news, we do apologize again for the race 1 reactions as well. Of course, very sad for those affected, but of course we do move on. Thank you all for tuning in to the commentary for the Straight Line Motorsports League here for the Mazda MX5 Cup Championship. SLM Polymer, James Hunt, Doug Barrow ending up on the podium once again, and thank you all to everyone who raced today. Thanks again to S-Team Viper, who was my co-commentator for today's race, of course, so I appreciate that.
Anytime.
And if you have enjoyed these set of races, I have been the host and commentator for today's set of races, SC_RDZ, and we will move on to GT3 next week on the Straight Line Motorsports YouTube channel. We will see you guys next week.